Hey, what's going on guys? It's Cova here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a bit different, and basically Sky Sports had a poll on picking your England team, picking the formation. The fans got to do everything. Today they have revealed what the fans want to see England play in, and the formation is one of the formations that England regularly use, and that is the 4-1-2-1-2, but not this one. It's the one with the centre mids in, and this is apparently the formation that the fans want to see England in. And judging by the players, I'm not surprised one bit. It actually kind of makes sense to have this formation for the players selected. Now, obviously, the goalkeeper is probably the most certain one that was going to happen, and that is obviously Joe Hart whenever he pops up. Obviously, he's England's #1 keeper. I think he's the future captain of England, personally. He will have a rival in Butland, and I think Butland probably would have rivaled for his spot, judging by how good he was playing this season. But obviously he got injured. Now Joe Hart may be the England keeper for the future, although he may have that rival in Butland. I personally see him as the future captain. It's always nice to have a goalkeeper who can shout at the players. Obviously he sees more of the pitch. He doesn't have to do as much. He only comes into play when he needs to make a save. Next up is Kyle Walker. Now apparently he outvoted Klein by about 19,000 votes. And I think I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think that's probably what I've done. I probably voted for Kyle Walker personally. Klein's had a great season, but I just think Walker's probably better suited to international football, to be honest, especially against European teams anyway. Next up is the centre-backs. Now this is a hot topic because our centre-backs aren't really that good, and the first one chosen with the majority was Chris Smalling. He gets chosen ahead of John Stones and Gary Cahill in terms of that, but the other centre-back did get Gary Cahill a vote. He's obviously seen us having more experience than John Stones, and personally, I don't know whether I don't think I would personally went for him, but in terms of that, the vote, I can see why they went for him. He's got the experience on Stones. And next up is Danny Rose. He gets the left-back spot for England after a fine season for Tottenham, and I think he's got probably better stats in terms of against Ryan Bertrand. Bertrand's had a good season for Southampton, but it hasn't been that good. He's obviously got injured. Rose played the whole season and done very well. Next up is a simple one for me, and that is Eric Dyer. He comes in at centre defensive mid for the team. Had a breakout season for Tottenham, and I think he fully deserves the place. I think he can protect our back four really well and basically let the other players go forward. I think that's kind of key in this formation, is that Dyer's in there. The other 5 players can just bomb forward. I think the right and left back can also bomb forward when we've got the ball, when we're controlling the game, because Dyer can literally just drop in even further, and it can create a back free system with the right and left back going forward, which both of them love to do. Kyle Walker is really effective going forward. So on the right hand side of this, the team was selected with Del Ali as the player on that side. Now, obviously, he's had a fantastic season for Tottenham. Crazily good. He's been better behind Kane. That is the one thing I would say. He's better playing just off Kane. And in this formation, it kind of, gets him to come back a bit more. I think he will obviously go forward a hell of a lot, but when we're defending, he will also have to come back, and that might tire him out. That is probably the only negative I would say. Next up is Jack Wilshere. Now I think, I praise this formation in terms of that because he's left-footed and he will play on the left-hand side. Makes sense, if he's got the ball. Obviously he can cut inside, but he can look for the runs down the left with Vardy, which is going to play on the left-hand side. But first off, probably the most controversial one for me. I wouldn't have had him in here, but obviously he is the captain, and that is Wayne Rooney. Playing as the cam in this formation. He got voted out as a striker, but he managed to grab a midfield position. And to be honest, it makes sense in terms of him playing behind both Vardy and Kane. However, I would have probably had Del Ali push forward a bit more and brought in another centre mid instead. But that is what the nation voted for. And then we will pick up Harry Kane on this side, so he can kind of link in to Del Ali when we have the ball. And I think it makes sense, those two on that side will be perfect, with Vardy on this side looking for them runs from Wilshere. Obviously, you can play it down the line and Vardy can run onto it. Vardy does have that explosive pace. So there you go, guys. That is the England team. in terms of the starting 11. I'm going to guess the bench just for why not. Now, I'm obviously going to look through the keepers. I think I know who I would want, and that for me would be Fraser Forster, obviously on the bench. I think he's better keeper out of the two. You know, Heaton obviously had a good season for Burnley, but it wasn't great. I think Klein's worth a spot on the bench. I think he can play both right back and left back, so that is also a key strength. A player that is guaranteed to be on the bench is John Stones, because we just don't have any other centre-back in the squad. You know, Stones is literally just it. There's nothing else. So he'll come in there. I'll personally have, you know, a wide man, and I think that's going to be Sterling. I think he deserves a spot there. We will take 2 centre mids, I think, and then 1 striker. So one of the centre mids I think deserves it. I think it's James Milner. He's had a great season for Liverpool. You know, he's getting on a bit, but he does have that experience. He does have that leadership that will be needed. Next up, another Liverpool player. You know, this might be biased because obviously I am a Liverpool fan, but that is Adam Lallana. You know, I think when you're closing out the game, I think he is key because he can close down a lot of people. He's basically key to the Klopp system for Liverpool by pressing players. And I think, you know, closing out the game, he will be needed. And then finally, I can't not put him on there, and that is a final Liverpool player. I'm sorry, but that is Daniel Sturridge. He just has that quality. You know, it would be a toss-up between him and Rashford, to be honest, to put someone on the bench. And I think, you know, this wouldn't be the bench for every game, but I think, you know, it's worth having Sturridge on there. He's just got that quality. Providing he is fit, he can come on for the last 20 minutes and spark something crazy. I would probably possibly swap out one of them two for Rashford as well, but this is what I've gone for in terms of the bench. The team is picked by the nation. And guys, if you did enjoy, as always, like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one.